Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that helps you become your best self. And today we're going to talk about procrastination station, what to do when you keep procrastinating. But before we jump into that, as always, I want to invite you to come say hi to me on social media. I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo on both TikTok and Instagram. So come over and say hi and let's become friends online. I do want to announce to you that as of the day that this episode is being released, October 21st, 2022, the planner journal that I've created called Emotions Every Day, which is a daily planner journal for emotional growth, will be released for sale. And so it's going to be released at 10 a.m. PST. So it probably, I'm going to guess, will had already been released by the time you listen to this, maybe. But I don't know. Maybe some of you actually listen to it like right when this episode comes out. I have no idea. I've actually never looked into that data or if that data is even available to me. Regardless, if you are interested in getting your hands on a copy of the planner journal, I encourage you to go ahead and click the link in my bio that'll take you right straight to my website and to the mindset shop that is on my website for you to purchase. So go ahead, check that out. There is limited stock here in the first run to see if people actually are interested, people actually want it, and then there will be a restock if I run out and more people want it. So, that stuff. So, check that out. I'm very excited about it. It's my first product that I'm releasing. There will be more things to come in the future, but we're just starting off with this one. And everything else in the show notes below, which again, that link will be in the show notes below. You can sign up for the weekly newsletter that comes out every Wednesday evening. You can submit an anonymous topic suggestion to the podcast. You can submit an anonymous venting session for you to just get things off your chest. And again, I won't know who you are because it's anonymous. You can join the free texting community that as soon as enough people join, I will be sending out texts just like motivation, updates, fun things like that. Again, it's totally free and it's just for me to like encourage you guys additionally, and just check all the things below. Let's just jump into the episode. I think I've kept you here long enough if you haven't already fast forward. So, yeah, check all the show notes below, all the things. Check out the journal, the planner journal if you're interested in that. And that is all. Okay, so again, today we're talking about procrastination station, what to do when you keep procrastinating. So, if procrastination station is a real place, like somewhere out in the world where we live, I am the queen of that domain. I am the queen. I am like all royalty there. I rule that place. Procrastination is where I live. It is like my favorite hangout spot. It's a problem. It's a problem. And maybe you feel that too. And I would even go as far as to say I'm a hardcore procrastinator, which really feeds into my struggles with perfectionism, to be honest. And just so you know, if you struggle with perfectionism, you often struggle with procrastination because you don't want to let anyone down. You don't, you won't do anything less than the absolute best that you can do. Um, you can't be seen as anything less than acceptable. Like all of these things are in your mind when you struggle with being a perfectionist. So putting things off means you are delaying any possible like mistakes and failures, but you also believe you need to wait until the absolute last minute so you have as much time as possible to come up with the best way to do whatever it is. And it's all mind tricks, right? It's all lies in our minds. And we know that our mind will often lie to us because too many things are filtered in and not all of the things that need to be filtered out are filtered out. And we don't get enough of the things that actually do need to take up space in our mind. So we think that, yeah, we just need to put it off. We just need to like not do it. We just need to figure out a way to get out of it, whatever it is. But despite procrastinators like myself feeling like they have the perfect reason for putting things off, which if you do procrastinate a lot, I'm sure you've come up with a lot of very like actual reasons. You think they're reasons and not excuses for why you put things off until the last minute. But it's still not the best way to live your life, right? And this is even me talking to me, like, you gotta stop. I'm like, it's like Sabrina, you gotta stop, girl. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. Because waiting until the last possible minute puts like a ton of stress on you, when in whatever you're trying to do or rush to get done, but also like others involved. So if you have other people that are involved in whatever needs to happen, you could be putting And I say putting lightly. You could be contributing to them feeling stressed because you're putting it off and not just getting it done, especially if you have the ability and the means to get it done, right? And I want you to know that just because you waited longer than others would to follow through with something or like make a decision or whatever it is, it doesn't mean that you actually spent more time considering what the best option is. And I know that kind of feels like the perfect reason to be like, oh no, I wait till the end so that I can like think so deeply on what could be the answer, what could be the solution. I am the master of problem solving. No, I mean, I do consider myself a master in problem solving. I do. But that is a poor excuse. And it's not even classified as like an actual reason because it's not. It's just you trying to like put words together and make yourself sound better than the actual situation. And I get it. I get it. You want to come up with something. You don't want to continually look bad for the same thing over and over and over again, especially if you are a chronic procrastinator. You know what I mean? And you probably should like spend more time figuring out how and well, not should, sorry. You probably do spend a lot of time figuring out like how to get out of these situations and things that you want to inevitably put off, or how to contribute the least so you don't have to put yourself on the line for like whatever the outcome is, right? So it's like if something goes wrong, you are at the bottom of the list. You possibly won't be like blamed or labeled as the issue, the problem with whatever it is, right? You're like, I need to take as many steps back as possible to be involved in this as little as possible so I cannot be brought up about it in the future, right? Because you're like, no, I can't be seen badly. Let's figure out a way to kind of like slinky snake my way out, which is not the way to go. I'm telling you, it's not, right? And it's also some important to remember like when we spend so much time procrastinating, the choice that you end up going with, if you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do this, that, and the other, and I'm take all this time to really think about it and like whatever, but it might not be available anymore. So you're taking bigger risks than you realize with waiting until the very end to move forward because you either had a problem making a decision or you just put it off because you didn't want to make the decision. You have some sort of fear, worry, anxiety involved, whatever it is. And then you finally make a decision. And then what happens when that decision is no longer available for you to choose? And so it's either that the decision was chosen for you because you didn't do it in an acceptable, reasonable amount of time, or you have to choose something that was not ideal. So you're like not happy either way. And so that's a reason that I want to remind you guys of and myself that putting things off and then hoping that the choices that we get to choose from are still the same and still available, well, that won't always be a thing. And like I've already kind of spoken about, I understand that there is more to putting stuff off than just like fear of how it will look if anything other than something positive happens, right? Like, I understand it's not just those fears or those concerns. I know it can be a lot to get yourself going to do something you don't want to do. You're like very against. You're like, I didn't sign up for this, but you have to do it anyway, right? Right? Or something that seems very different than you're used to, seems very out of place. You're stepping out of your comfort zone. That could be another reason why you're procrastinating doing it because you don't want to step out of your comfort zone. You don't want to do something that might make you feel uncomfortable. You don't want to do something out of the norm, out of your routine, which I totally get. But we have to do that sometimes, right? It's just like, but in the moments where we have to make the decision initially, we're like, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Why would I do that to myself? Why would I make myself uncomfortable on purpose, right? Or even just lacking the will to do anything at all. So everything gets procrastinated. I've definitely been there. It actually, for me personally, not giving you advice or saying what it is, just me and my personal experience, that the will to like not want to do anything actually was connected to me discovering that I suffer from ADHD. So I'm not saying that's your problem at all. I'm just saying that's my personal experience. And that has gotten better with the treatment that I've gone with. So I actually do procrastinate a lot less. And I'm not saying like that's the solution. I've actually been working on not procrastinating for a long time and like set those like mindset, tips in place that I'm going to share with you in a minute and getting that better. But I will admit that the treatment that I'm on has helped a lot because it has gotten rid of that lack of will to like get up and do stuff. So, just something to consider if you need to talk to your own doctor about that because I'm not a doctor and they can help you figure that out if that happens to be your problem too. But yeah, so if you do, because like even having lacking the will to do anything could be a symptom of something else that you need to, discuss. Um, but these reasons will need a little bit more attention to understand the core reasons of why, those ones like talking to your doctor and figuring out why you lack a will of wanting to do it or why you're so vehemently against doing whatever it is or it just feels so awkward and all of these things. It's so good to talk to someone about it and really flesh it out and get to the root, the core of those problems. If you don't have someone to talk it out with, like a therapist or counselor, another good thing to use is I was hoping I had one. So if you're watching the video, you'd be able to see the the prop that I have. I don't have one. I need to get one though. That's laminated. An emotions wheel. Go to our best friend, Google, right? And type in emotions wheel. And you'll come up with a lot. So you're going to want to try to like dig through the image section of Google a little bit to make sure that the center of the emotion wheel has the 6 core emotions because people have made emotion wheels in different versions where they have different like very specific emotions and not just the general 6. But a very classic one, which is also available in the Planner Journal that's launching today, has the 6 core emotions like sadness, anger, happy, joy, and those ones. And then there's a circle outside of that one that kind of like goes beyond the surface level of those 6 core emotions. And then there's another circle outside of that really hits the core of the emotion that you are experiencing. The emotions wheel is like one of the best resources and tools and that all of us can use. Because if you say, "Oh my gosh, I'm angry," but then you're like, "Well, angry, that just feels very, you know, common, not specific enough, right? You need to dig a little deeper." And so with the emotions wheel, you can determine what the next emotion is down from that, and then the next emotion down from that. It's an amazing tool. Look it up. It's great. But yeah, so it's important because if you don't have someone to talk to and get deeper, you can do it yourself with the emotions wheel and kind of like figure out, oh, wow, I was actually just feeling frustrated or lonely or whatever it is. And then you can start unpacking that and like, oh, okay, well, why am I feeling bitterness or whatever it is? Frustration, isolation. Why am I feeling these things? What's going on? And you can dive deeper into that. Okay, let's reel this tangent back in. But I want you to know that there is hope for change in your procrastination habits, even more so than when I said that, mine have gotten better. And again, they were getting better before I was on the treatment. So I just want to clarify that. But I was sharing that with you to be totally vulnerable and honest with the fact that that did help me a lot. But I was already doing really well because I was really focusing on understanding myself better, self awareness, self awareness, self awareness, so that I would be able to, catch myself when I was falling into these procrastination habits, right? Because the better you understand yourself and know what type of events and experiences and whatever lead you to procrastination, what triggers that in you, the easier it will be to catch yourself in the act and get yourself moving forward again. Because I feel like one of the things that procrastination really does to us is it really can halt you in your tracks because whatever it is that needs to get done isn't getting done, and that's kind of holding you back. Even if it's only holding you back in a small portion of your life, it's holding you back nonetheless. So it's important that you restore the flow to move forward. And it can be very helpful when you start to call yourself out. I had to do that today and yesterday. And often I will literally say it out loud. I've been known to say it in like I'm part of this like business group where it's like a lot of accountability and feedback and stuff like that. And we'll do intentions every single week where we share what our intentions are for the week. And I will often call out like, wow, I'm feeling like I'm procrastinating a lot right now. I can tell because there's things that I said I was going to do and I didn't do them. And that's like one of the biggest ways for you to determine. I know it sounds super simple, but really think about it. Like, what did you say you were going to do? And you feel like you fully had the intent. It wasn't just hot air. You fully had the intent to do it, and then you didn't do it. And then you're like, why didn't I do that? What's going on? Like, is it a real reason that all these other things that were more important got in the way and that just got shoved to the bottom of the list? Or are you actively avoiding it and procrastinating on fulfilling whatever that is that needs to happen? So there is hope for change. You know, the better you know yourself and those things that trigger it, the easier it'll be. And so for you to start doing that and calling yourself out and being aware of what is triggering the procrastination, and no longer allowing procrastination to hold you hostage, which it often can, has for me, you need to know what you can do to deal with procrastination. And here are some tips on how to work on this struggle. And I have 7 quick ones to share with you. But before we get into that, as always, I want to let you know that these tips and advice are based on my own knowledge and research and personal experience and the experiences of others that I am allowed to share. And if you feel like none of this resonates with you, please speak with a counselor or a therapist that can really help you unpack it and understand it better. Or if you don't want to do that, go to where? Say it out loud, our best friend Google, and type in how to deal with procrastination. You will come up with many, many articles, several that I've read, and maybe you can find your answer that way. It's whatever you want. I'm just here to offer the knowledge. Do with it what you will. Okay? So, again, 7 tips. Let's jump right in. So, this episode isn't a million years long. Number 1, admit to yourself that you have an issue with procrastination. Like, it's the first one. And if you're not new around here, you probably expected this or you didn't, but you're not surprised. Because often one of the first things we have to do is admit and accept that whatever it is happening. Because a lot of times, we'll think like, oh, this is just like a random occurrence. This doesn't normally happen to me. I don't normally get involved, blah, blah, blah. Like all these excuses. All of this nonsense that's not true that you are spouting because you have not taken the time to actually admit and accept that this is an issue for you and something that you need to work on. And it's okay to have things that you need to work on. Good grief. Like, if you're not working on something in your life, I am strongly like suspect of what you're doing. Because even when we are in the best of times, we're on that we are on the peak and not in the valley. Because in the valley, it's like where we're like really learning hard stuff. When you're at the peak, you can still be learning stuff. You can still be growing, still be changing, making yourself better. Any point in your life, you can be doing this. I promise you. Okay? So admit to yourself that you have an issue with procrastination. Like, really tell yourself the truth and understand that it is not a random occurrence, but something that needs attention so it can be handled. And so once you honestly admit that, okay, I have a problem with procrastination, it kind of just like opens the floodgates for your mind to be like, okay, well, let's find the knowledge and the wisdom and the things that we need to work on this and get better and not allow it to happen as often. Because just because you work on it, I'm not saying that you will never procrastinate again. I'm not saying that. I will never say that because it's very common for anything that you struggle with ever to kind of try to creep its way back in, or even you will like fall back into it, however you want to say. But the difference is that when you've taken the time to work through it, you become stronger. So you're able to pull yourself out of that regression a lot quicker and easier, and probably like without any pain or way less pain that you would have experienced in the past, and then move along with your life. So it's not the end of the world. A lot of times we will regress in things if we are not, you know, on our toes about everything or something just triggers us. It's and we just allow ourselves to go through those emotions. Like it just happens. It just happens. So Admit to yourself that you have an issue with procrastination. That's what you need to do first. Number two, spend time really figuring out why you're procrastinating. Genuinely, why? Why are you putting it off, dude? Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Do you feel like it's too much to handle? That's fair. Are you unsure of what actually needs to be done? Clarification is needed. So you're like, but that feels embarrassing. It feels like you didn't listen. It feels like you didn't remember. Maybe you threw away the instructions. Who knows? Right? Do you actually need to ask for help, but you haven't because, again, your pride and your ego are in control and it's embarrassing, right? And, the reason for procrastinating could definitely be different for every situation. So I'm not saying that it's like you're going to choose one, it's going to be the blanket covering. It could be, but it doesn't mean that it will. So this is actually something that needs to be done each time you encounter a situation you start procrastinating in. And then you can kind of figure out, like, why? Why am I procrastinating? An example I'll give to you, hopefully a quick one, is you're like, how do you not know, Sabrina? I don't know. I don't know what's about to happen right now. Is I was procrastinating creating the sales site, like in the shop on my website. I was procrastinating creating that with the planner journal that's coming out because I personally have fear of rejection. I have fear of no one buying it. I have fear of doing all that work and it being all for nothing, despite the fact that people have told me, like, oh, I'm going to buy. But people can change their mind all the time, and that's fine. And I'm not here to, tell people how to use their finances. I'm absolutely not. But there's a lot of fear behind there. And I put it off for a long time. I only did it a couple days ago. But I did it because I knew that I had to do it, because I knew if I didn't do it, I'd be doing it like right now or after the podcast recording, and I would be up so late, and then I would wake up so late, and then I wouldn't be able to enjoy the day and the excitement of launch. So I ended up doing it. So it's just really being honest with yourself. Again, why? Why are you procrastinating? Really, why? Why are you putting it off? And if your answer is you're scared, okay, look up your emotions wheel and find the next emotion under that. And then the next one under that, and really dig deep and help you get to that final emotion that's below the surface of the core. And then that can help kind of like drive the conversation with yourself to figure out, okay, why? Why are we here? Okay. Number 3, take small steps and make it manageable. And this is a very classic example tip for this, but it's important. Okay. Take small steps and make it manageable. So if it feels like it's too much or overwhelming, find a way to break it down, into smaller tasks that feel easier to accomplish. And obviously, this technique is not going to work with every single experience or situation that you're going through that you end up procrastinating on. Like for me, I guess I could have broken it down. I could have been like, okay, right now we're going to add the photos and save. And then later we're going to come back and add a description and save. And then later we're going to do this, that, and the other. So I feel like a lot of them you could break them down into smaller steps. Sometimes we can't, and that's okay. And you just want to make it manageable so you don't feel overwhelmed. So you don't feel like it's a big thing that you need to put off, right? And another reason why this won't work with everything is because even if you have to do the smallest thing, like maybe for you is to, I don't know, the smallest thing for you to stop procrastinating on is saying yes to a date, right? Or saying yes to going somewhere on a trip, right? Or making a decision about a couple homes you're looking at because you want to purchase, right? Making a decision on, a job opportunity, right? Maybe you're offered a couple different opportunities and you have to make a decision. So, in regards to that, it would just be like, okay, you need to like determine um, how you can break that into different steps, pro cons list, getting feedback from other people, understanding, trying to figure out how you will feel after the fact based on whatever the decision is, and just really breaking down the steps into something more manageable for you to figure out. But yeah, and just go by one. That is totally fine. Don't even think about the next step even it as much as you can without things falling apart. I understand that sometimes you have to be continually thinking of the next step for things to be safe, but if you don't, just think about that step that you're on until you're finished or almost finished with the current step. And you'll also feel like more in control of the situation if you go about it that way as well. Okay, number 4, time it or get help with it. So, time it is a piece of advice that's been used by a lot of different people, right? And I thought it was really relevant towards well with for procrastination because if you're putting something off that you have to do like on the regular, and I would say this would only work with like things that you do on the regular, right? Not just some one-off thing. But start timing how long it takes to accomplish it. And if it's like wiping down the counters, time it and see how long it takes so that the next time that you need to do that task, you'll know how long it can take and you can plan to like fit it into your schedule better, right? And maybe save like a favorite TV show or podcast or music playlist or whatever it is to enjoy while accomplishing that task. And it just makes it a lot easier to endure and get through and you actually get it done because you're like, okay, this takes 6 minutes. Let's figure out we can fit 6 minutes in like right before dinner as dinner's finishing cooking and I get this task done I've been putting off for a long time. For me, oftenly, wow, I'm making up so many words today, you guys. So many words. Often for me, it is doing the dishes. I hate doing the dishes. But I've found that if I just do it, break it up into small chunks. So often I will feel like if the sink is full of dishes, I'll need to do every single dish. But lately I've been like, okay, you know what? I don't need to like put everything in the dishwasher and then hand wash everything else. I'm just going to put as much as I can in the dishwasher that will actually allow it to be clean, run it, and then the next day or later in the day, depending upon when this is happening, I will do another load and then I will do another. Like, and just, it's easier to do that rather than load it all up and then stand there and hand wash everything else and then be done. And it just feels so tiring when I could just like break it up. And there's still going to be a couple things you have to hand wash, right? Because it's just how it is. But it just helped me to really like break it down and then time it of like, okay, well, how long did it take to unload the dishwasher? And then how long did it take to just like do one quick load, right? And then it doesn't feel so overwhelming. Also, in this is time it or get help. You can do both or one or the other. Ask for help with your task if that's what you need to get it done. So if you're avoiding doing that because you don't want to look bad or look stupid or whatever, get over that. That's not what it's about. Asking for help is one of the best things you can do because you're offering someone else to really shine in their gifts and talents while also being efficient with your time and getting stuff done. Like, who doesn't want to get it done? So ask for help. Just, suck it up and ask for help. It's just the best way to go. Number 5, consider the consequences. This is an easy one. This is a very straightforward one. Consider the consequences. What will happen if you don't get it done? How bad will the experience be? How bad will those consequences be for you if you do not get whatever it is done? If you do not move forward in a decision, if you do not do whatever is being asked of you, what will happen? And maybe you're not afraid of the consequences. Sure. But it's still something to consider. I don't know what to say about that because, like, you could put your own consequences on yourself, but if you don't follow through with that or the ones that are impending on you from someone else, if they don't make a difference, then nothing will. At least in regards to consequences, but really just consider it. Like, do you really want to have to go through that? Is it really worth it rather than just doing the thing? Just doing the thing, just doing it, moving on with your life. So just consider the consequences. Number 6, find someone to keep you accountable. Very classic suggestion, right? But it's helpful. I would have honestly told you maybe a year ago, accountability is silly. I don't think it's inherently silly. I just thought it's silly for me because I like to spend a lot of time alone. And it's not that I don't like feedback. I do. Or help or people helping me like stay in line. But it was just very like, oh, I don't need that. It was very much more of like a mindset, like, I don't need that. It's fine. I'll do with that. I'll do without it. But this year, when I joined the accountability business group that I'm in, and there's like accountability baked in and like certain things that we do, especially now now that they've kind of like reorganized things, it is so helpful. Accountability is great because even if I will often, like I said before, announce, oh my goodness, I am procrastinating on doing this thing. And then people will be like, oh my gosh, well, why? And we'll help break it down. And then a couple days later, someone will check on me because I've already admitted that I'm dealing with procrastination. And they'll be like, why haven't you done it? What's going on? What's getting in the way? So just find someone in person or online that can help you keep you accountable to what you need to get done. And at a minimum, at a very bare minimum, you could just have someone check in on you based on a deadline that you set for yourself, right? So you're like, or for the thing, you're like, okay, I have to have this done by this date. And that person will check on you like a day or two before, whatever it is, the threshold that you set. And that can even, at a basis, keep you accountable. And maybe you can just swap those duties with each other to help each other out. But, just like a reminder that you want it to be finished by this date. That could be like the best thing ever for you to follow through and do what you need to do and stop procrastinating, right? Okay, so yeah, find someone to keep you accountable. And then number seven, I'm just gonna give you like a couple like classic tips that would come from like a lot of articles and things online when people are talking about how to deal with your procrastination. I'm not saying they're bad, which is why I'm including them here. I'm just going to rattle them off though really quick. So just kind of have other things to look into. But they're all right. They're fine. So get organized, have rewards set in place so you actually do stuff, set goals, take breaks so you don't feel overwhelmed, and eliminate distractions. For me, I didn't really want to talk in depth about any of these because eliminating distractions, for number one, I feel like I can find a distraction anywhere. You know, I was telling my husband that when I got home today from worship practice, I was going to bring my laptop downstairs to the living room, even though he's downstairs watching like a video game tournament situation and the TV's on and whatever. I was going to be less distracted down there than I was at my desk with my laptop and two other screens because I wouldn't like get drawn into doing something else because all I was able to do was sit downstairs in front of the TV and write this podcast episode, right? Write the notes. And I knew that I wasn't going to get distracted because even though he had something on the TV, I would look up here like every now and again, but it wasn't interesting to me. Like it's just not what I'm into. I try to enjoy it with my husband because he likes it, just to like things that he likes, but it's not something that I'm like super engrossed in, right? So I'm just down there like just on my laptop, just typing away because it eliminated a lot of distractions. But there were still distractions though. I was still able to find distractions. I was like, oh, I'm downstairs. That means I can get a snack. Oh, well, let me pet the dog. Oh, my husband said something and I comment on it. And so I like get distracted from like actually typing notes. So I think that if you're not the type of person that's like me where you can find distractions everywhere, okay, eliminate them. But like taking breaks, sure, putting rewards in place, okay. I just feel like if you're constantly putting rewards in place for you to not procrastinate, I think that you'll never learn the discipline of just not procrastinating. And that's important. You can't always just give yourself a reward for doing something that you should have done. You just need to learn how to shift your mind into doing it because it needs to get done. And getting organized, sure, being more organized can help you to not procrastinate because you know where everything is and you can just get to work. But that might not help everyone. So, anyway, that is all the tips that I have for you in regards to, what to do to stop procrastinating and what to do when you just continue to do it over and over again. But thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast again with me, Sabrina. Please check the show notes below to sign up for the weekly newsletter, to go and purchase the Emotions Everyday Planner Journal, to submit a topic suggestion, to send me an email. To do all of the things that are down there. But thank you so much for listening, sharing, and downloading the show. I appreciate every single one of you. And until next time, have a good one, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.